from the grass where the small roots were already beginning to splay wide, questing for purchase, the bole of the tree twisting as if in torment, the branches rising up to embrace heaven. Shadoweth stood peering at it, and all weariness seemed to leave her, all of her aches and worries. It was as if she laid aside every care, and an upwelling of hope rose inside her. Strange longings.
"The tree is my master, and I am its servant,"
her body told her. But a voice whispered inside her, the voice of the tree.
"You are my master. How may I serve you?"
An image of their true relationship formed in her mind. Neither was whole without the other. The tree told her, neither of us should live alone.
Damn,
she realized, the young tree has already gained consciousness. Left alone, it would become wise and venerable and forbidding. There was a rustling sound behind her, one of the guards on the castle wall. Across the courtyard, Warlord Hale was stumping down from the river, lugging his great weight along as fast as he could. She had almost forgotten that he existed, even though he was the one who had sent the urgent message asking what to do about the damned tree.
"So,"
a girl asked,
"do you like my tree?"
Shadoweth shook her head, let her vision clear, and suddenly spotted the young woman there, beneath the tree, squatting cross-legged upon a rock. Shadoweth had been so captivated that she hadn't seen the girl, even though she sat in plain sight, as quiet and motionless as a mushroom. She was some indeterminate age, between 12 and 16, Shadoweth imagined, with hair so pale yellow it was almost white, and eyes as pale as sea foam. Her skin had the greenish cast of one who was wizard-born, and she wore a robe that looked not to have been woven, but to simply have grown around her as roots that interlocked. It was the pale green of new leaves. She bore a staff of golden wood, hewn from the tree itself.
"I love your tree,"
Shadoweth said. The girl smiled broadly, stood, and raised a hand, beckoning Shadoweth to come forward, to rest beneath its limbs. Shadoweth could hear Warlord Hale pounding down the wooden stairs, his huge bulk an assault upon them. He was nearly to the door of his keep. Now that her mind had cleared, Shadoweth realized why the young wizardess had chosen to plant the tree here in the courtyard of Castle Courm. It was to honor the last Earth King, Gaborn Valorden, of course. This had been his residence before he wandered off into the wilderness to die. So the wizardess had brought the tree here in his honor. She wanted to restore him to the people's memory, even as she and her damned tree created a new world order. Shadoweth reached the rock wall, and the young woman stretched down to give her a hand. That's when Shadoweth struck, as quick as the thought touched her. Shadoweth had taken the body of a warrior this time, a pale assassin from Inkara with skin whiter than bone, hair the color of spun silver, and pale blue tattoos that covered her arms and legs. Shadoweth's speed was blinding, and her curved dagger bit into the wizardess's armpit with great force. Shadoweth grabbed the proffered hand, for Earth Wardens, as this young wizardess surely was, had great skill at both hiding and healing. Shadoweth held on while the young wizardess tried to leap back and buck like a young deer. She saw the girl's pleading eyes as warm blood pumped over Shadoweth's hand. Shadoweth twisted the blade, and she saw strange visions. Suddenly she seemed to be standing in deep rushes at the edge of a pond while a huge grouse thundered up from the ground. Obviously the vision was meant to startle her, get her to loosen her grip, but Shadoweth held on. Suddenly she seemed to be holding a great bear whose vicious fangs were mere inches from her throat. Shadoweth drew out her blade, plunged it beneath the young wizardess's sternum, and let it quest for her heart. The bear disappeared, and for a moment she saw the wizardess's true face. Her pupils constricted to pinpricks, and she saw an image of the one true tree as it might be someday, with tens of thousands of people living beneath it, giving it water and food, giving it life, even as it sheltered them from the elements and from the eyes of all enemies. And then the young wizardess was dead. Nothing but a piece of bloody meat gurgling and jerking at Shadoweth's feet. Shadoweth pulled her away from the tree, for she knew that the tree itself had healing powers, and might even be able to raise the newly dead if her body remained beneath its boughs for long.
"Why?"
the tree begged. Shadoweth merely smiled secretively as she